Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, first opened back in 2017. There's a look at the gleaming new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. A few moments ago, it was Desmond Trufant of the Falcons making their way out of the tunnel to the delight of this sold-out crowd as his guys get set to do battle with the New York Giants. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. As we get a peek at Matt Ryan, a man who's been in the league since back in 2008.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now, he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. Now Ryan on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
The Falcons send out their punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Taking it about the 16. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice game there. Flushed out right. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. The numbers for Beckham in last week's effort. 4 catches, 69 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A 1st down carry for Barkley. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Time to see how Atlanta will line up defensively. Against the pass, they're toward the middle of the league, number 15 in the NFL.
So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And?
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there. They'll set up to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. And on the ground they go with the running back. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. The numbers for him from a week ago: 17 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. On 3rd down. That's Lamb. And not much doing. He'll get this only up to about the 36. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tack McKinley in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
On second down, here's Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Take it in at the 22. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So out come the Falcons now. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all. And let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice. So they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series...
That's caught inside the 20. A gain of 39 that time.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. Partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Ryan will throw again. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now a handoff looking right. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Coming out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. In for the score. And the Falcons are in for 6.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody. But those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
It just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? And turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better. Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. A handoff to Barkley. And he's got some space here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That's their second, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this second quarter. We'll be right back. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's a give to Barkley. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. And with that, they're now out of timeouts, and still plenty of time remaining here in this second quarter. The pitch goes to Barkley. There he goes inside the 30 and all the way down to the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. A toss out to Barkley. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And this is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime and make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. to the ground, this time with Freeman. Solid footwork, but not able to get a whole lot. Brought down shy of the 10. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. To throw is Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, 1st and 10. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Jones. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Two minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now it's Ryan looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Now a toss right to Barkley. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. The front office all smiles when the ink went dry on this new contract.
Not only them, how about the coaching staff? Because
and he's got his man, Beckham. Touchdown, Giants. Odell Beckham, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting a lead. So you're not playing that way. You got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now Ryan on 2nd down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense.
Hey, let's go.
As they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. On 1st down, Ryan. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Second and 10. It's Ryan again. And he comes back with one complete. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw again is Ryan. And shedding through the tackle. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. Here's Corey Grant now to return. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking to throw. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A tremendous play there from Saquon Barkley. 57 yards on the ground. And a guy that can change the game, shows you a glimpse of it right there, taking the ball down inside the red zone.
It just tells you how tough it is for a defense. You just hold on all game and essentially hold your breath. Will they break a big one on us at any point during the game? It just happened right there.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They keep it with Barkley on first down. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants are in for 6. And there, the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
Well, what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense. Get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. From the gun, it's Ryan. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now, big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around to make the play on the football.
Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Back to throw here. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's got this down to the 35. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Barkley, toss play left. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 18 yards on each of the last 2 plays, and they're picking up big chunks now.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Grady Jarrett breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kicked it on the ground again.
Back now in Atlanta. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Odell Beckham, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Rosas now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. They need a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Now Ryan. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 35.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Room here to run. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Now they'll throw here, out of the gun. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to make it third down and less than a yard. Now they'll run it on the toss. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll bring up fourth down. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to put...
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Dalvin Tomlinson in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's really a difficult task.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and reacted to the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. On fourth down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, fourth down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
And New York set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So that'll back them up 5. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. Fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people are thinking about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Saquon Barkley. And he'll get 3 up to midfield. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
The Giants on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On second down, here's Ryan. He will find his man on the outside. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now Ryan on first down. The left side completion to Jones. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 10 more there, and another first down. Ryan. He's got his man on the crossing route. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Again, Ryan. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Operating from the gun, Ryan. This will be caught inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. As his guys are in for 6. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
It's Barkley on the counter, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll go to Barkley again. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. And the Giants send out their punter now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. And here we go, partner. It's his time to shine.
And I've yet to meet a quarterback who had any type of greatness, any type of longevity in the league, that didn't secretly love this type of an opportunity. To be the focal point, have a chance to take a team all the way downfield and win the game, That's when they get their stripes.
Yeah, that's when they get their stripes, and he has to take them to length here. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
He's going to let it fly. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Well, we were on hand for a fun and
Ooh.